I am going to show you how to make the best bread for men over 50. Not the best low-carb bread, not the best keto bread. The best bread for your blood sugar, your inflammation, your joints, and your metabolic health, period. And before I show you the recipe, I need to tell you something about the most popular low-carb bread recipe on YouTube that has been recommended to men in this space for years. It uses almond flour, one of the most common staples in keto baking. And for men over 50 dealing with inflammation, kidney concerns, or joint issues, almond flour is one of the highest oxalate ingredients you can put in your body. Oxalates are anti-nutrients found in plant foods that bind with calcium and form crystals in your joints, kidneys, and soft tissue. Almond flour contains approximately 150 milligrams of oxalates per ounce, roughly 40 times the oxalate content of whole wheat flour. A standard serving of almond flour bread can deliver over 400 milligrams of oxalates in a single sitting. For a man over 50 already dealing with inflammation, joint pain, or any history of kidney stones, this is not a health food. It is a problem disguised as a solution. The bread I'm going to show you has 0 oxalates, 0 plant ingredients, 0 blood sugar spike, and it is made from ingredients your body was designed to process, animal protein. But first, let me show you why bread itself is the wrong conversation for most men over 50, and why the question is not which bread is best, but whether any bread is necessary at all. Here is what a meta-analysis of 13 studies found. When researchers compared whole wheat bread to white bread, the average glycemic index for whole wheat bread was 71. The glycemic index for white bread was also 71. Identical. Both spike your blood sugar exactly the same. Table sugar has a glycemic index of 65. Whole wheat bread is higher than table sugar on the blood sugar response scale, and certain types of whole wheat bread spike blood sugar even more aggressively than white bread. So the man who switched from white bread to whole wheat bread because his doctor told him it was healthier, he did not reduce his blood sugar problem. He kept it exactly the same while adding a different set of problems on top. Here is what else is in whole wheat bread that white bread does not have. Phytic acid, an anti-nutrient that binds with the minerals in your food, specifically iron, zinc, calcium, and magnesium, and blocks them from being absorbed. The man eating whole wheat bread for its mineral content is eating something that actively prevents mineral absorption. Whole wheat bread also contains a compound that creates inflammation and interferes with insulin receptors. Not the same way sugar does, in a different way that is arguably more insidious, because it is not labeled, not discussed, and not something most doctors are measuring. And both whole wheat and white bread contain glyphosate, the herbicide used in Roundup Ready farming. Wheat is actually sprayed with glyphosate to dry it before harvest, which means the glyphosate concentration in wheat is significantly higher than in most other GMO crops. Glyphosate acts as an antibiotic in your gut. And for men over 50 already dealing with chronic inflammation, this is not a small issue. So where does this leave us? Whole wheat bread and white bread are both problems. And the popular low-carb alternative that uses almond flour trades one set of problems for another, specifically the oxalate load that is particularly damaging for men dealing with inflammation and joint issues. The answer is a bread made entirely from animal foods. No flour of any kind, no plant ingredients, no oxalates, no blood sugar spike, and no compromise on taste or texture if you use the right technique. Here is what this recipe is built on and why each ingredient matters. Egg whites are the structural foundation. When you whip egg whites to stiff peaks, you are creating a protein scaffold, a network of air-trapping albumin proteins that gives the bread its structure and lift without any flour. This is the same technique Berg uses in his recipe, and it is the right technique. The difference is what we add to that scaffold. Instead of almond flour and instead of whey protein, which causes gut irritation in a significant number of men over 50, we use 2 purely animal-derived ingredients: beef gelatin powder and egg white powder. Both come directly from animals. Both are 0 oxalate. Both are completely gut-friendly. Beef gelatin powder provides the elasticity and moisture that gives the bread its structure. It is rendered from beef collagen, the same collagen from the glycine video. It also delivers additional glycine with every slice. Egg white powder adds protein density and stability. Together they replace the function of flour without a single plant ingredient or a single gram of oxalates. Cream cheese adds moisture, fat, and a slight tanginess. That gives this bread more flavor than egg white only versions. It also helps the bread hold its structure during slicing without crumbling. Egg yolks provide the fat, the color, and the richness that make this taste like something you want to eat rather than something you are tolerating. And salted butter, both in the recipe and on top, because fat is the flavor carrier and there is no reason to avoid it. This is a 6-ingredient recipe. Egg whites, egg yolks, beef gelatin powder, egg white powder, cream cheese, butter. Every single ingredient comes from an animal, not one plant ingredient anywhere in the recipe. Here is the complete recipe. Follow these steps exactly and the first loaf will come out right. Step 1. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. While it is heating, line a standard loaf pan with parchment paper. Leave enough overhang on the sides to lift the bread out cleanly after baking. Step 2. Separate your eggs. You need 6 large eggs. Put the whites in a large, clean, dry bowl. And when I say clean and dry, I mean it. Any fat or moisture in the bowl will prevent the egg whites from reaching stiff peaks. Wipe the bowl with a paper towel before you start. Put the yolks in a separate, smaller bowl. Step 3. Add a pinch of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar to the egg whites. The cream of tartar stabilizes the whites and helps them hold their peaks through baking. Start whipping on low speed for 30 seconds, then increase to high. Whip until you have stiff peaks. The whites should hold their shape when you lift the beater. This typically takes 4 to 6 minutes. Do not rush this step. Underwhipped whites produce a flat, dense loaf. Step 4. In the smaller bowl, combine the 6 egg yolks, 4 ounces of softened cream cheese, and 2 tablespoons of melted butter. Mix until completely smooth. No lumps of cream cheese should remain. Step 5. Add 3/4 of a cup of beef gelatin powder, unflavored, unsweetened, to the egg yolk mixture. Stir until fully combined. The mixture will be thick. That is correct. Step 6. Add the yolk and protein mixture to the stiff egg whites. Fold gently using a rubber spatula. Do this in 3 additions. Each time you fold, use a motion that goes down through the center of the bowl and sweeps up the side. You are trying to keep as much air in the whites as possible. Aggressive stirring will deflate them and collapse the structure. Gentle folding preserves the lift. Step 7. Pour the batter into the parchment-lined loaf pan. Smooth the top gently. The batter should come about 2/3 of the way up the pan. Step 8. Bake at 350 degrees for 30 to 35 minutes. The bread is done when the top is golden brown and a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. Do not open the oven in the first 20 minutes. The temperature drop will cause it to sink. Step 9. This step is as important as any other. Let the bread cool completely in the pan before slicing. At least 45 minutes. If you slice it hot, it will be gummy and fall apart. The structure continues to set as it cools. Patience here is the difference between a good loaf and a great one. Step 10. Slice, butter generously, and eat. Here is what you are getting per slice. Approximately 0 grams of net carbs, 10 to 12 grams of complete protein from egg and beef gelatin, 8 grams of fat from yolks, cream cheese, and butter. 0 oxalates, 0 phytic acid, 0 glyphosate, 0 whey, 0 blood sugar spike. Every single gram of this bread came from an animal. Compare that to whole wheat bread, 12 grams of net carbs, 3 grams of protein of lower biological value, phytic acid blocking your mineral absorption, a glycemic index of 71, and a glyphosate load that your microbiome will spend days trying to process. These are not comparable products. One is food your body was designed to use. The other is industrially processed grain that spikes your blood sugar, blocks your mineral absorption, and damages your gut lining, regardless of whether it says whole wheat on the label. Now, one more thing before I close this. The reason most men over 50 are still eating bread in some form is not because they think it is optimal. It is because they miss the experience of bread, the texture, the ability to make a sandwich, the morning toast with butter. This recipe addresses all 3. It slices cleanly after cooling. It holds together for sandwiches. It toasts beautifully in a pan with butter and develops a slightly crisp exterior that is genuinely satisfying. I have been making this twice a week, 2 loaves on Sunday. They last 4 to 5 days in the refrigerator and slice better after a day of resting. The flavor improves slightly over the first 24 hours as the protein's fully set. If you make this, and I want you to make this, come back and tell me how it went. Tell me what changed about your bread consumption. Tell me if your blood sugar response is different. Tell me if you notice anything in how you feel on mornings after eating this versus mornings after eating conventional bread. Drop it in the comments. I read everyone and I will respond. Comment bread below and I will send you the full written recipe card, exact measurements, timing, storage instructions, and 3 ways I eat this bread that make it genuinely part of a satisfying carnivore approach to eating. My next video is about vitamin D, specifically the blood level your doctor calls normal, and why the research increasingly suggests that number is dramatically too low for men over 50. It affects testosterone production, immune function, and the inflammatory response. Subscribe so you do not miss it. I am Josh, this is Created Carnivore. Real food does not have an ingredient list.